Thank you for joining me this morning. The time is now 9:53 a.m. Central, and you have a live look at what could quite possibly be the biggest ice storm of the winter. Right now, we have got heavy to extreme freezing rain falling across portions of northeastern Missouri, southeastern Iowa, and it's starting to move into portions of northwestern Illinois. If we take a look at this precipitation here, we can see that it's a mixture of mixed precipitation, heavy snow, and freezing rain even, and very heavy totals of it as well. Now, this freezing rain is the most dangerous type of precipitation that you can have. We're already seeing thousands of customers without power across portions of southeastern Iowa and northeastern Missouri, and those totals are going to continue to add up as this ice continues to fall across portions of southeast Iowa and northwest Illinois. The ice storm warnings have been extended further eastward, so now they do include a few counties in Illinois here across the Mississippi River. This is what things look like from the Davenport radar. We can see that we're seeing snow across a good chunk of north central Illinois, but the further west you go, the more wintry mix and freezing rain things get, alright? So if we take a look at things from the Lincoln radar, we can see that it really likes the idea of this mostly being an ice event here. If it would like to load up, that would just be incredible. But it's showing ice across a good chunk of west central Illinois, and then some snow in north central Illinois, and rain in south central Illinois. So it's a very nasty mixture of precipitation right now. So give me just a second. Sorry about that. Just getting my voice cleared up again. I kind of just got out of bed, but this is a significant enough event where we do need to cover this. The Storm Prediction Center has put out a mesoscale discussion for freezing rain in dangerous amounts, right? So again, we're talking about everywhere across northwestern Illinois and southeastern Iowa are the areas where we are expecting significant power outages. And again, we're going to see heavy snow and heavy rain in the areas where we don't see any mixed precipitation or, freezing rain. What's up, Patty? So, again, even if you're not going to get by this freezing rain, you are going to see precipitation from this event if you are in the path of this, right? So, you could be seeing snow, you could be seeing freezing rain, you could be seeing heavy rain, you could even be seeing thunderstorms. That's where we are seeing a little bit further down to the south. Speaking of thunderstorms, we still do have a marginal risk of severe weather across the west coast of California. Earlier, we actually had a tornado warning for San Francisco, the first one ever for San Francisco downtown. What's up, Mr. Storm? Apparently, there were videos of damage as well, and we had damaging wind gust reports of 80 to 90 miles per hour. It was a pretty massive deal here earlier this morning. I kind of wish I went live for it, but I barely have the energy to be live now, so obviously this morning that would not have worked out too well. I did forget that Storm Prepare Media is actually live, so we could pull that up here. Wow, look at all that. That is multiple feet of snow on the ground there in California easily. So I'll try and get that pulled up here on the stream on like a separate tab. So give me just a moment. I just realized we're going to have to... Give me just a sec, sorry. In just a second here, let me try and get this pulled up. I think it'll be worth it. So give me just a moment. And sorry if my voice is very croaky. Is that a word? Probably not. But I did just wake up, so you'll have to give me a break this morning. So let's get Stormrunner Media. Let's get the stream pulled up. So again, they are seeing multiple feet of snow on the ground in eastern California right now.
To sweeten your holidays.
No, we don't want to add.
Because you asked, this season...
Come on. YouTube, sorry, we're kind of doing this on the fly here. I really forgot that they were live, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Alright, we'll bring this back up. Then we go to add, browser, create new, sure, URL, Stormrunner Media Stream. I'm going to go and make the width 600, height is going to be at 450. I just realized I made the width 6,000. That would probably break the stream if I entered it. Alright, we should be good. And there we go. That's how you do it.
You're wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so we'll go ahead and dismiss that, full screen it. There we go. For anybody wondering, that is how you get that to work on OBS. So, you're getting the step-by-step tutorials today, I guess. Alright. So again, the aspect ratios are perfect.
Derek, can you guide the rope, please?
But, throw it in there for now. I think I am going to actually mute the stream, though. Alright, there we go. Okay, we are just doing this on the fly here. Create new. Storm Runner Media. So again, they are out there in Eastern California right now chasing a completely separate system from the one that we've been watching over in Iowa. What is happening? What just happened to the text? What in the world did... I am so confused. I don't know why it's upside down here. Let's fix that. Gosh, this is confusing. Okay. Stormrunner Media. Throw it in there. Boom. Look at that. Flawless. Alright, so anyway. Yeah, that's a live feed from Stormrunner Media. Again, we have gotten permission to use their stream. So, again, we're starting to watch more of this freezing rain take over portions of southeastern Iowa here. Again, we've got tens of thousands of power outages already reported across parts of southeast Iowa and even portions of northeastern Missouri, actually. If we turn off our weather alerts here, the ice storm warnings and the winter weather advisories, we can actually see the exact numbers with the power outage tracker tool on Radar Omega. We can see that in Louisa County, we've got about 500 customers without power. In Des Moines County, about 1,000 customers without power. That's not actually the county that holds Des Moines, which is pretty confusing. But Keokuk County, we've got about 500 customers without power. We've got about 3,000 or 2,000 in Wapello County without power, 300 in Davis County without power, 50 in Monroe County without power. We've got 300 in Appanoose County without power. We've got 150 in Wayne County without power, and 70 in Schuyler County, Missouri without power. So again, already thousands of power outages, and those numbers are going to continue to pick up here as this event continues. So, again, we're going to kind of have to switch between radars here, but you can kind of see from both the Des Moines and Davenport radars that we have got ourselves a very significant ice storm playing out here across eastern Iowa right now. Good on the National Weather Service. They got those counties with the ice storm warnings pretty much perfect. Again, we're talking about nearly half an inch of ice accumulation, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that is enough to make travel virtually impossible across portions of southeastern Iowa. Really, even a few hundredths of an inch of ice can make things pretty hard to travel through. So, you know, saying half an inch is pretty crazy. So anyway, how's everybody doing this morning? What's up, Denver? Again, we talked about how we might go live this morning if things were significant enough, and they definitely are. Again, we've also got ourselves a marginal risk of severe weather in California, but that event, I think, for the most part, is done. Again, we saw damaging winds close to 85 miles per hour, and we saw tornado warnings. I think, for the most part, this was a pretty significant event for a marginal risk, but... Again, that marginal risk encompasses San Jose back up through San Francisco, all the way towards Santa Rosa, and back down south towards Santa Cruz. All of those Western California metros. Again, I mean, if we take a look at things, there's really not that much activity going on right now, but earlier was the hot spot. That's whenever we were seeing tornado warnings. Again, damaging winds close to 85 miles per hour. It got quite intense for a while, I'll be honest with you guys. We saw a tornado warning at about 6 a.m. Pacific time in San Francisco. Again, the first ever San Francisco tornado warning. It has never happened before until today. So, pretty interesting stuff. But anyway, we'll go back over here to our ice storm. Alrighty. Why are the winter weather advisories not popping up here? They expire and they haven't been reissued. There's a few counties not included in anything right now. I think that's just a Radar Omega glitch. But anyway, if we go and take a look at the HRRR model, we can see that this is going to be a problem throughout the lunchtime hours. If we take a look at the precipitation type radar here, the future track, we can see that by noon we're still dealing with ice and freezing rain across portions of northeastern Iowa and southern Minnesota back through parts of southwestern Wisconsin, and then potentially actually some thunderstorms, and maybe even some stronger thunderstorms down into portions of Arkansas and Louisiana. And then going through the afternoon time hours, if we take a look at the 14Z run of the HRRR here, if we can go ahead and get that to load, we can see that it's showing, excuse me, just a second. Alright, I promise I'm feeling alright, it's just, I am a little groggy this morning. So again, we go into the early afternoon time hours. By 2 p.m. we've got ourselves some snow. Again, we talked about this last night, but it is really just going to be chaotic over the Twin Cities region. It's going to be a mix of snow, sleet, freezing rain, regular rain, mixed precipitation. It is going to be an absolute battle zone over Minneapolis, St. Paul, so we'll have to see what happens there. But everywhere south of there should be mostly freezing rain across parts of northeast Iowa and southeast Minnesota, so that's going to be the dangerous spot, actually. Because, again, that's whenever we start talking about power outages and stuff like that, dangerous travel, and more. Now, by 5 p.m., actually, we can see that, for the most part, snow starts to take over this event, and that's where I think we could start to see some significant totals rack up, especially in northeastern Iowa. I think that could be a sleeper spot for this event. I think we could see well over half a foot of snow in some regions of northeast Iowa. We will still be seeing some freezing rain and sleet falling across parts of northeast Iowa and southwestern Wisconsin, but again, at this point, it should mostly be snow, and then by 7 p.m. tonight, more of the same. Again, I think if we were going to see any freezing rain at all at this point, it would be either on the backside of the system in southeast Minnesota, or maybe the temperature just rises a couple of degrees and we see some of that mix in there in Wisconsin. But I think for the most part, Wisconsin should just be snow. And then late tonight, we have another problem with almost pure freezing rain over portions of Michigan. Look at this, 10 p.m., we are talking about freezing rain over a good chunk of the western part of the state, and that's the dangerous conditions. Again, we could even see ice storm warnings get issued for Michigan at some point today. And then by tomorrow morning, we're still dealing with some sleet and freezing rain across a good chunk of the state, and more thunderstorms as well back down into parts of the Ohio Valley. So that's kind of what the HRRR likes the idea of for this event here overnight, and for the rest of the day even. So again, we can see we've got ourselves a long day ahead of us. Actually, it looks like we could have some thunderstorms building around St. Louis, some stronger thunderstorms. Let's check the radar there. That's what the HRRR was saying for 9 a.m. Yeah, I mean, it's mostly just heavy rain, honestly. But again, that's going to push northeastward and just bring some really beneficial rain, honestly, to portions of southern and central Illinois. It's not really going to be any freezing rain, no sort of sleet or snow, nothing like that. Just some nice beneficial rain that this region has not seen for, honestly, around a month or longer, depending on where you're at in southern Illinois. Give me just a second. I will be right back. We're going to keep the radar pulled up here of the battle zone of precipitation that we've got ongoing across northwest Illinois and southeast Iowa. What's up, Sandman? Sorry if I've not been reading chat. It hasn't been loading for me. I will be right back. Alrighty, I am back. So again, if you don't already know, above my head, that's Storm Runner Media's feed of a winter storm ongoing in California, actually. They're seeing multiple feet of snow in the mountainous regions, so that's something to look at on the side. Again, very significant snow accumulations. They've been out there in that storm for days now, so props to them. Doing the job nobody else wants to do, honestly. So again, how's everybody's day going? We did it 1.94 thousand subscribers, so thank you all for that. The Twisted video did yesterday did pretty well, so thank you for that as well. And the support recently has been awesome. And it looks like we're going to have some busy days ahead here this weekend. Again, today's obviously the main day, but tomorrow I think Michigan could be the spot to watch, especially out further to the east. And then after that, we're going to be watching the Northeast for some heavy snow. Actually, if we take a look at the GFS model here, we want to play things out a little ways. Let's go ahead and go over to the precipitation type. We can see that we are expecting the system, obviously, once again, like we said, to bring more sleet to portions of the Great Lakes region. But after that, we're going to see another system here, all right? This is tomorrow afternoon. We're seeing heavy snow mixing with some sleet across portions of Virginia and PA. And by the afternoon and evening time hours, that kind of pushes further off to the northeast. We're dealing with heavy snow across parts of upstate New York, central Pennsylvania. By the evening time and overnight hours between Sunday or tomorrow and Monday, again, heavy snow across upstate New York and northern New England. Everywhere south of Interstate 80, though, should mostly be on the rain side of things for the most part. And that'll kind of continue into the evening time hours. And then after that, we actually could be dealing with a pretty big system for maybe some thunderstorms across portions of the Ohio Valley and the Mid-South. I definitely do think that some isolated severe storms are going to be possible early next week. Currently, though, the SPC does not have any risk highlighted in terms of a severe threat, but they do have a general thunderstorm risk over portions of the southern and mid-Mississippi valleys back down into the southern plains. I'm doing pretty good, Sandman. How about you? When will the next snow chance for the Ohio Valley be? Again, I mean today, depending on where you're at, but today we're going to see some snow across parts of the Ohio Valley, but it's mainly going to be the Great Lakes region, rather. If we switch things over to the NAM model here and we take a look at the precipitation type, we can see that, again, it's mostly going to be freezing rain, actually, but by the overnight hours where we are seeing mostly snow, a lot of that snow is going to accumulate across parts of Wisconsin and Iowa, but over towards the eastern Ohio Valley, again, a lot of that snow isn't going to come until a later date, unfortunately, if you're a snow lover. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty stuffy as well. I've had a cold for over a week now, but I'm doing alright. We're pushing through it. I mean, just look at that, like, near 50 dBz sleet. I mean, that is insane. That is very heavy freezing rain totals. 48 dBzs. Again, that's just insane for freezing rain. 49 even. Again, we're getting very close to 50. That's just something that does not happen almost at all. I really like the view of the Davenport radar here, just in terms of what it's showing for precipitation across different regions. I think it's probably doing the best job as of right now. We can see, again, it's calling for some snow across portions of central Illinois, but then the further west you go, into a very small section of northwestern Illinois, west central Illinois, you got some of that sleet, and then back into Iowa, you got more of that sleet into the central portion of the state, but the further northeast you go, it's all snow once again, which is, again, how I think it's playing out, and that's what the models were suggesting anyway, so. Again, so far the forecasting for this event has been excellent. You can see the counties with the power outages are the counties that are under the ice storm warnings for the most part. So, good call on the National Weather Service for this event. Again, I think sometimes people forget how significant these ice storms really are. The Lincoln radar likes the St. Louis region being quite a battle zone for precipitation here. We've got a mix of snow, freezing rain, regular rain, but again, if we actually switch over to the St. Louis radar here, we can see that what it actually is a whole lot of rain. The Lincoln radar just likes to make it show some snow because of how far north it is. But again, if we switch things over to the closer radar, we can see it is pretty much all rain until you get north of I-72. So, again, for the most part, St. Louis Metro, I wouldn't worry about anything too much. But again, power outages are continuing to ramp up across portions of southeast Iowa. If we go and do an updated check here, if we actually just turn on the state numbers, give me just a second. So, we're going to have to turn off some alerts because the entire state of Iowa is covered in alerts right now. Lincoln Radar, a little bipolar today. Yeah, I guess you could say that. No, but if we turn off the ice storm warnings here, we can check Iowa's power outage numbers again. We see we're a little over 6,000 in the state of Iowa. We're over 3,000 in Missouri. We are just over 500 in Illinois, and Wisconsin and Minnesota don't really have any reported outages yet. So again, the main spot obviously has been Iowa so far, the southeast part of the state, but northeastern Iowa is reporting some outages as well. And I actually wouldn't be shocked if there was a little bit of freezing rain mixing in somewhere near the St. Louis metro due to the fact that we do actually have a few hundred customers in Warren County without power there. In an area where these Lincoln Radar was suggesting, hey, maybe there's a little bit of freezing rain in there. So it makes me think maybe it actually is a possibility. So again, those dark shaded purple boxes, those are your ice storm warnings. Those lighter purple boxes are your winter weather advisories. Basically just a lower level of an ice storm warning in this case, because all they really serve the purpose for is alerting folks for ice, not snow like they usually do this time around. Again, things will be a bit more snow focused up in like Wisconsin. Again, maybe an isolated region gets close to 3/4 of a foot of snow, but for the most part, the headline of this story is going to be the freezing rain. And again, I genuinely do think this could be one of the most significant ice storm events of the year. But anyway, last year, there's always one per year that really shocks me. Like, last year it was the Arkansas ice storm. This year it's the Iowa ice storm. For sure. And obviously other areas get impacted by those as well. Like the Arkansas ice storm, I mean, that brought ice through the Ohio Valley back down into the southern plains. And then the Iowa ice storm here is bringing not just ice to Iowa, but also to really everywhere in the upper Mississippi Valley. So, pretty interesting stuff. Alrighty. So again, above my head there, you got a live look at storm media there, not in Iowa, but in California with another winter storm ongoing. They've got multiple feet of snow on the ground. And they're just clearing up roads right now, doing the dirty work, so good on them. So, again, it looks like we're mostly seeing heavy rain anywhere south of I-72, but just look out for the occasional patch of freezing rain trying to sneak its way in there, because It's definitely not all just solid rain. Whenever we've got temperatures hovering in the lower 30s, there will definitely be that isolated spot that gets to below freezing, and we see some of that freeze. But again, for the most part, you can see the St. Louis radar says that freezing rain and snow should stay to the north of I-72. So anywhere north of Springfield, north of Champaign, or north of Bloomington, everywhere in that region should be snow and freezing rain. And for the most part, everywhere south of there should just be heavy rain, but we're not going to rule out an isolated patch of freezing rain anywhere else in kind of central and south central Illinois. I think it's definitely possible. But again, for the most part, it should just be heavy rain across that region more than anything else. What's up, Joan Paul? Lots of rain here in Missouri. Yeah, we were just talking about Missouri. Again, a lot of rain, even some thunderstorms right now down in the southeast portion of the state. It looks like just some nice, beneficial, heavy rain that you guys have not seen for quite a long time, actually. But again, the northeast part of the state has ice storm warnings up for a couple of counties, because a lot of that rain is starting to freeze, and it becomes very dangerous for travel whenever that's the case. So, Missouri is kind of our battleground state today, based on precipitation type. But, again, it's just crazy. We're exactly at freezing across pretty much this entire little corridor here, according to our little temperature tracker icons, which is what's creating that freezing rain everywhere in this little section of just extreme northeast Missouri, extreme southeast Iowa, and extreme west central Illinois. Now again, we're seeing freezing rain elsewhere too, but a lot of it's actually taking over as snow at this point. So I would say, if there was one forecasting issue with this event, the hot spot actually ended up being a little further south than we were expecting. It was kind of around southeast Iowa and northeast Missouri, while we were expecting it to be more of an east central Iowa problem for the ice. East central Iowa, for the most part, snow, it looks like. So, what's up, Peachy? What's up, Avery? Again, make sure to like the stream if you're just now tuning in. Alright, so this is actually brand new. We just did get a freezing rain report from Putnam County, Missouri. So that is way up there in northeastern Missouri. So again, it's not too surprising, but we do have some freeze. Again, for the most part, things are moving out of that region, but we do have some lingering freezing rain showers, it looks like. Again, so far it looks like the totals in that region have been about 0.2 inches. So yeah, as you can see, still some leftover freezing rain there. Yeah, we were talking about that. I mean, it is almost, we said this earlier, but it is almost never that you see 50 dBz freezing rain. That just does not happen. I genuinely couldn't tell you if I've ever seen that on radar, 51 dBz's even. That is, like, the heaviest freezing rain that you will see in your entire life if you're getting hit by that. So again, a lot of this is starting to cross the Mississippi River, and again, the general rule of thumb that we stated earlier was, if you're north of I-72, you're seeing freezing rain. If you're north of I-74, you're seeing snow, and if you're south of I-72, you're seeing rain. That's kind of the rule of thumb that we laid out there for Illinois. Yeah, we went over that again. We talked about how there was the first ever tornado warning for San Francisco this morning. And damaging winds as well were a big thing. But again, Storm Media is out there in that storm right now, but they are seeing the snow portion of it. So Michigan will actually see freezing rain again. This is something we mentioned earlier, but Michigan's freezing rain event will, for the most part, be late tonight into tomorrow morning, right? So we play this out here. We can see some of that really starts to get into the southwest part of the state around 8-ish, but it doesn't really start to take over until, say, 11 p.m. midnight, where a good chunk of the state is seeing that freezing rain and sleet mix in. And then in the early morning hours tomorrow as well, that could be a bit of a problem for parts of eastern Michigan. If we play this out further, again, we can see sleet covering a good chunk of the state there. So through, say, 5 a.m., for the most part, whenever the sun starts to rise, rain will take over. But even across parts of Ohio, we could be seeing some freezing rain all the way up until the lunchtime hours. And even through, say, Monday morning, it likes to stick around in a very small portion of Michigan, according to NAM. But, pretty crazy stuff. It's snowing in Davenport right now. Let's check things out. Probably mostly freezing rain, I'd say. So the Davenport radar actually does show snow for Davenport, but I will note you are just outside of the freezing rain region, so I wouldn't... Again, you were in the freezing rain region earlier, and it just kind of switched over to snow. I can't really tell what's going on here. But since you are in the high 20s for temperatures, I'd say for the most part, you're going to be seeing snow. Yeah, there was a tornado warning in California earlier. What's up, Sherry? Again, make sure to like and subscribe if you've not already. We do this every day for all areas across the country. Whether it's snow, hurricanes, or tornadoes, we are always there to cover. Yeah, the Lincoln radar, again, we've said this several times, but if you are in Illinois, in between I-72 and I-74, for the most part, you're going to be seeing freezing rain. If you're north of I-74, it's going to be snow. If you're south of I-72, for the most part, it should just be rain. Now, again, there are some exceptions to that. The Lincoln radar likes the idea of some mixed precipitation kind of popping up in there in parts of southwest Illinois, but if we actually look at the St. Louis radar, it's showing all rain for that region, so. Yeah, actually, last year, most of the streams that we had were for California coverage in the winter. Because again, last year really wasn't that crazy of a winter for most spots, but California's atmospheric rivers brought incredible snowstorms, first of all, but also severe weather. Again, I think there was like 145-mile-an-hour gusts recorded at one of the peaks of the winter storms in the mountains, which is just unbelievable. I mean, that is high-end tornado force wind speed right there. Let's actually see if we can find any pictures here. Freezing rain. Yeah, so last night there was even some freezing rain on the ground on Omaha, and that was making driving conditions difficult. About 0.3 of an inch of ice has already fallen in Cedar Rapids. Yeah. This is crazy. I mean, wow. in storm water media right now. Above my head, I don't know why. Is the feed frozen? I think it is. I think it has been for quite. No, it's not. Okay, never mind. But they are in California. They are near Omega. Funnily enough, they're on Interstate 80. So California right now, they're on Interstate 80 in California. Interstate 80 takes us all the way back. That one interstate takes us all the way back to where Ice Storm is in the Midwest. That's pretty crazy. This one interstate has got multiple major winter storms going on it across the country. Yeah, again, it's going to be very dangerous for travel conditions. Again, the forecast for Michigan is not going to be nearly as high for the ice totals as it was in Iowa, but I would not be surprised to see some winter weather advisories get issued soon. Again, the main event in Michigan will be tomorrow, though, not today. Early tomorrow, late tonight, that time frame. But just stay safe. Again, I'm sure some places will close down. It always happens, but yeah, I mean, this is gonna be the closest thing that we get for a white Christmas for a lot of the folks in Iowa, even though we're still almost 2 weeks out from Christmas. You're not going to see any more snow likely for a good chunk of the state between now and then, unfortunately, if you're a snow lover. I will say next weekend we could see a little clipper system, but it's not going to bring any significant totals by any means, so don't get too excited. Yeah, if you don't like snow, I mean, this is good for you. Okay, make sure to click that subscribe button if you've not already. Turn this off of 50 frames. It's taking things forever to load. I always forget you guys can't fully see the Raider Omega screen, so I have to kind of maneuver around here. I always forget what you can and can't see, so forgive me. Here there's thunderstorm potential Monday afternoon till evening to tonight. Is this true? Depends on where you're talking about. Not in Michigan, but down into the Ohio Valley and parts of the Mid-South, definitely. Again, we're talking about some mainly just heavy rain, but some isolated thunderstorms can't be ruled out. Nothing severe, but something to watch. Actually, let's check Texas. I've not actually looked at Texas yet, but the ERRR likes the idea of some thunderstorms down in that region. I literally turned us off of 50 frames, so I don't know if I accidentally put us back on there, just unintentionally, just out of habit, but need to get that off there, because it's taking forever to load things. But yeah, some thunderstorms there, but just some nice beneficial rain. Actually, some thunderstorms into parts of Arkansas are producing quite a bit of lightning, it looks like. Yeah, look at that. Quite a bit of lightning around the Little Rock region. You may be waking up to a rumble of thunder in Pine Bluff. Nothing severe, though, so Can't really complain about some nice rain. I mean, you could complain about it, I guess, but could be a lot worse. You could be in Iowa right now. So, let's go and get a power outage tracker update. Again, things are struggling to load right now. I'm not too certain why. Let's see. So let's turn on the state outages. So we got about 6,000 in Iowa without power, about 3,500 in Missouri. We've got around 500 in Illinois without power. Wisconsin, Minnesota didn't really pick up any outages. Nebraska did, but they're all restored. Kansas got a few hundred, but for the most part, they've been restored. So, for the most part, things are fine in the Midwest. But again, our West Coast storm, we've got 150,000 in California without power. And even 35,000 back up into Washington without power. Oregon's got about 1,600. Idaho's got nothing. Montana, nothing. Wyoming, nothing. Nevada, around 700, which doesn't sound like a lot, but remember, Nevada does not have that high of a population overall, so 700 is somewhat of a significant number. Alrighty. So again, how's everybody doing this morning? If you're just now tuning in, make sure to click that subscribe button. Trying to hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I think we can do it, but only with your guys' support. But I do think we can kind of wrap things up soon here if nothing else really pops off. Mr. Storm is live, so whenever we end, you guys should go check out his stream. But, outside of that, not a lot to say. So, again, I want to thank you guys all for watching. We will be back tomorrow for sleet coverage in Michigan, most likely. But if we're not, I guess I'll just see you guys in the next video, whenever that is. So, again, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys